Shalom Aleichem, welcome. I'd like to talk a little bit about the different Gedolim and Tzaddikim and Rebbes that we've been speaking about for the last several months since we began this program. And with the publishing of two new books, Chabad and Gedolim, which includes Reb Moshe Feinstein, the Chazon Ish, the Chafetz Chaim, Reb Velbel, Reb Chaim Brisker, and Reb Yosef Kahaneman of Panovich, the relationship with Chabad, and the other book, Chabad and Mir, amongst six figures of Chabad Mashpim, Rosh Hashivas, Rabbi Mentlik, Rabbi Buket, Rabbi Nissen Nemanov, Rabbi Greenberg, Rabbi Shlomo Chaim, Rabbi Hirschsprung, and others that are in the book, with the leadership of Mir, Rabbi Chatzkel Levenstein, Rabbi Ruchel Levovitz, Rabbi Shmuel Berenbaum, Rabbi Chaim Shmulevich, Rabbi Eliezer Yudel Finkel, and others. So, in general, over the years, you could say the last 100 years, our Rabbeim, the Lubavitch Rabbeim, had interaction with other communities, contrary to the way people think today. Many people, that there was, no relationship. There was actually lots of relationship and lots of warm relationship. And in conjunction with the days of Sfira and preparation for Shavuos, Vayichan Sham Yisrael, the Jews camped together, Belev Echad, Kish Echad, Belev Echad, like one person with one heart. It's important to reflect back and understand the Rebbe's special words when he said to that gentleman, that Rav, that brought up the Sukkah issue, and the Rebbe, in addition to, telling him that this is not the appropriate venue, and it's been explained already, and the person or the people you represent are just looking for trouble, troublemakers, the Rebbe said that my father-in-law had very warm relationship with the Chafetz Chaim and Reb Chaim Oizer. And those words stuck out in my mind for years. And in following up and in writing these different books, it's crystal clear. The Chafetz Chaim was amongst, and Reb Chaim Brisker, I believe it was 1906 or 1907. There's a printed letter in the Frierdiker Rebbe's Igros Kodesh, I think volume 8, page 495 or so, where he says, or 595 or 515, please don't quote me on the page number. But anyway, where he says that the Rebbe Rashab, my father, was accused of putting down the Litvaks yeshivas that they have no Yiras Shamayim. So a group of Bacharim or representatives went to Reb Chaim, the Chafetz Chaim, and Reb Chaim Oizer to ask them to put a ban on the Kuntris Eitz Chaim that the Rebbe Rashab wrote, and overall on Lubavitch and the Rebbe Rashab. So Reb Chaim Oizer said he would do whatever the Chafetz Chaim does. And the Chafetz Chaim said, listen, I sent my Rosh Hashiva, Naftali Trop, I believe that was his name, to Lubavitch to see something on a communal issue. And he saw the yeshiva and he met the Rebbe Rashab, and all I can tell you is they're tremendous Yiras Shamayim, and if that's the case, whatever the Rashab wrote is authentic. And you guys didn't understand what it really means, but we're not putting no ban on that. Then there was then he came to the Reb Chaim Brisker. Reb Chaim said, he didn't see it. Leave with me the Kuntris overnight. He told the representatives, and I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Tomorrow they came, and he said, not only is he right, but you should be doing what he says. Now, this is coming from, the staunch leadership of the Litvaks, the Litvish world. So we see that the Yachas was a very good Yachas, a good relationship. And so too, the other Gedolim that we perceive as, really anti-Chabad and all of that, it needs to be understood. Everything needs to be looked at. I don't want to mention more names and particular names, but of Rabbanim and Gedolim, they had an axe to grind with certain things of the Rabbeim, it's true. But ain't they the same Shabbos? It doesn't mean that they had sinna and hatred, chas v'sholem. Number two, our Rebbe shows us that the way to relate to anyone that has such antagonism is only with love and concern. And this I documented clearly in the Rabbi Hutner and Rebbe book, and this is even in the book of Chabad and Gedolim, which I encourage you to get and to read. It'll be a good Shavuos read. It's a 3-day Yom Tov this year, 2-day Shavuos and Shabbos. So in Chabad and Panovich, everyone right away, their hair raises, oy vey. Well, there's a whole history to Panovich. There were two Lubavitcher shuls in Panovich, and Rabbi Yosef Kahaneman, who became the Rav there and was there for like 20 years. He actually came into the Lubavitcher shul and davened there sometimes. And there was a shliach of the Rebbe Rashab from 1909 in Panovich named Rabbi Lison, I think Rabbi Shmuel Lison, and it's the Lubavitcher family, Lison. So, and Panovich today, even today, you talk about, they still consider the Panovich Rav as the person who put Panovich on the map. The fact that later on, after he passed on, in the subsequent years, other Rosh Hashivas, other people took over and had issues with Lubavitch. That's their issue, okay? That's their issue. And we talk a little bit about the Chilukei Deis in a respectful way. In general, the books that I write and I present to you, and it's for you, readers and listeners, to read, is to understand that there's a way of getting together. And we've seen this over and over. So before Shavuos, as it's a time for Avas Yisrael and Achdus Yisrael, I believe and feel that these works that I just published, both these two books, are very, very important, because we meet people in business, and and we meet people in shul, and we meet people when we travel to Eretz Yisrael, and we're all one nation, one people, and through Avas Yisrael and Achdus Yisrael, the Rebbe calls for this Shabbos, Bamidbar. It's a Shabbos Achdus. We should all get together. So this is my small participation in the Achdus of Klal Yisrael by producing these works, and I hope that you'll take the time to read the books. And you can get the books by emailing me info@rabbidalfin, DALFIN.com, or you can find it through the kronheights.info search bar. Type in Chabad and Gedolim or Rabbi Dalfin or Dalfin, and it should come up. Seid gesund, Bsuras Teves, Kabbalas HaTorah b'simcha u'bepnimius, with true simcha and true pnimius, ultimately culminating with Mashiach's coming, and we'll hear a mimer for our Rebbe at 3 a.m. in Yirtzeh Hashem, Shavuos night. Chaim.